name is Neil Beck, the Rabbi from Another Planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So, I was at a bar mitzvah last night, as you do in the rabbinical world. Actually, I wasn't there as a rabbi. I was there as a person. And I got talking to somebody who was asking me, what am I doing nowadays? And I write and draw comics. But I had to explain to him a lot of stuff, which I thought that might actually make a pretty good video for anybody newer to the Fandom Menace or Comicsgate. It's basically my introduction to both those worlds, which is relatively new. It's like under a year old, and I think so I had to give this quite detailed overview. So essentially, it's like this: the fandom. You have to know what two things are. The Fandom Menace is a loose collection of YouTubers who were greatly dissatisfied with the genre entertainment being created now. Ongoing themes are a racist agenda running through a lot of our entertainment, which is man hating, white male hating. Or they've been driven crazy by the person who they wanted not winning an election several years ago, and they're still crazy, and it just runs through every freaking thing they do. And so it goes through. It's been in comics, been in TV. So the Last Jedi was such a monumentally bad movie. It created the Fandom Menace. It was just so monumentally awful. It created a massive fan movement, which in turn I think caused Star Wars to be devalued quite massively. The Star Wars story tanked. I think really people were still reeling from The Last Jedi. The Star Wars with Galaxy's Edge Star Wars Land tanked, I think, because you don't have the fans, or you've alienated the fans. And so Star Trek Discovery did the same thing. Doctor Who, season 11 that's the one with Jodie Whittaker taking over as the Doctor, did exactly the same thing. Marvel Comics, DC Comics, completely infested by social justice warrior progressives, and again, who spent their time attacking their paying audience, and the paying audience have left. And so the Fandom Menace is a reaction to that, and it's the only play. The way I came to it was Doctor Who season 11 came out, and they cast Jodie Whittaker as a Doctor. Now, I've been a Doctor Who fan my entire life. I love Doctor Who. And when I first announced it, I was nervous. Like, oh no, is this just like stunt agenda casting? Is it political correct? And then I said to myself, no, Chris Chibnall, who was the showrunner who took over, is a seasoned television professional, as is Jodie Whittaker. Why would she want to make something that's quite important, like a woman for the first time taking on the role of a national icon, Doctor Who? And why would they want to make that agenda-driven and alienate the audience? Why not want to make a fantastic, enjoyable, immersive adventure that makes you want to just love her? And it'd be crazy. It'd be crazy if they did that, I thought. So I was excited when she came in. I really was, and it just turned out horribly. It was all my worst fears, which I had dispelled, and I hated it. And it was not only was it agenda-driven, whenever they go agenda-driven, they also lose the ability to write as well for some unknown reason. Nothing holds together. So that's that. So whenever I tried to. I was so upset. I tried to comment about it. I wrote articles. Nowhere would run. You weren't allowed to have this. It was a taboo opinion, because if you didn't like Jodie Whittaker as a Doctor, it meant you hated women, which was what? No, or it meant you were sexist, and that was just nonsense. And see, that's the other thing that created the Fandom Menace. When the fandom turned around and said, "Wait, what are you doing? This is terrible." They turned around and said, "You istophobe! You racist! You sexist!" Ah! So, and we don't like being called Nazis. People don't. And listen, maybe Nazis like being called Nazis. I don't like being called a racist, because I'm not. I don't think. My personal belief is all peoples are intrinsically equal. That's how I view the world. And I think looking at skin color, gender, sexuality, sex, as an indicator of who that person is is wrong. I think it's evil. Yeah, I think that's really what it was the song to me. So anyway, so I finally found Nerderotic, Gary Beagler's channel, which was giving voices, and he's actually a fantastic YouTuber. I listen to the streams all the time. I really just fantastic, and it was such I felt like I came home. Like there was a yes, I'm not crazy. There is a whole world of people there, and I think we're the majority who are really upset that you're taking things that we love, things that we care about, things we cared about our entire life, and you're prostituting them to force an agenda that we don't. That's just nonsense. And so the Fandom Menace was born. Now, just to be clear, the thing that Gary always says is, you just start it yourself, start your own channel. So I did. I took his advice. I did. I think I'm a Fandom Menace. I want to be. I agree with them. Yeah, and the thing that it's a loose affiliation, so nobody agrees with everybody about everything. Like I'm quite enjoying. What was it, the Mandalorian? The criticisms I agree with, I disagree with. I think Watchmen has the HBO series Watchmen has some merit and some terrible things as well. Okay, but I don't think there's no uniformity, and there's certainly no organization. So listen. If you're coming to my video first, as you've been called red pilled, if you just realize what's going on, and somehow you found this video, I am an invisible dot on an invisible dot on the in the Fandom Menace, which is a quote from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. When Zaphod Beetlebrox gets shown the entirety of the universe, and he sees he's an invisible dot. But so that's how small he is. So that's like my channel is what I had like 180 subscribers right now. Most Fandom Menace channels have minimally 10,000 subscribers. 50,000. It's like 100,000. I'm less. I'm not even on the starting point. But yeah, look, if you're here, you're here. So that's the Fandom Menace. So from the Fandom Menace, I found out about Comicsgate. Comicsgate is a movement. So I came to it via Nerderotic. He was talking about a court case between Richard C. Meyer, who has he has a couple of channels. It was Comics Matter with your boy Zach. Fantastic channel. That's another one I listen to all the time. And Ethan Van Sciver. So no, Ethan Van Sciver's not in this part. Sorry. There was a court case between Richard C. Meyer and Mark Waid. Mark Waid, very famous comic book writer, who seemingly acted like a gatekeeper to stop Richard C. Meyer's book coming out. So what happened was, your boy Zach is a comic book reviewer, a YouTube reviewer, and he noticed how terrible the comics were, full of agenda, how alienated they were from DC and Marvel, and was very upset about it. So he said to him, "Listen, if you don't like it, go and make your own comics." And he did just that. He ran an Indiegogo campaign. It was insanely successful, and they are so jealous now. These social justice warrior progressives, pieces of crap. They were so insanely jealous and angry. He made a deal with a company, I think Antarctic Press, but I'm not entirely sure. And allegedly, Mark Waid, although it's in deposition, I think put what's called tortious interference onto it, so they wouldn't distribute the book for him, causing. I'm not sure if Richard C. Meyer certainly lost money about it, but he also lost the ability for the casual viewer, the casual buyer, to pick up his book. Also, but Antarctic, if it is Antarctic Press, they lost a ton of money too. It would have been their biggest selling book by far, because the Mark Waid, as I said, seemingly was acting as a gatekeeper to keep out anybody he didn't like from comic books. So Comicsgate is a movement that's an alternative to the mainstream. As the mainstream is fast dying now, I think they say it's DC Comics has 5 years of publishing left at most. I think less, much less. Look, DC Comics also had Mad Magazine. Mad Magazine folded. It's like over 70 years of publication folded. Why? Because every cover was Orange Man bad. Every cover was Alfred E. Newman as Donald Trump. Yeah, and I think if they had a satirical political magazine that took swipes at both sides, and there's so much freaking opportunity, and was even that would be a crazy seller, but they wouldn't do it. So anyway, there's another comic skater called Ethan Van Sciver, who has an incredibly entertaining YouTube channel. I love his channel. So he did a book called Cyberfrog, which I just got. It's fantastic. Find my review. I really recommend it. I got Richard E. Myers' first book, Jawbreakers, and again, really slick, well put together, exactly what he wanted. It's kind of like a G.I. Joe with superheroes. Not really the sort of book I would normally read, but it's very successful. And if you can get a copy and you like that kind of thing, go for it, baby. Because there's so much heart in all these books. So Comicsgate is this alternative comic book movement. So with all this explanation, I told the guys explaining what I'm doing. My new graphic novel is called Crown of the Empire. I started thinking about what would I do if I would do a comic book aimed at Nerderotics Channel's audience, which is primarily like a genre, and there's like an Anglophile thing. So it's like a steampunk thing set on Mars with like red coats on Mars. So it's kind of imagine like Brideshead Revisited or Downton Abbey, or all the the other crappy shows that I have to like in space with aliens and monsters and lasers and that sort. And I'm very much hoping that I got a deal with one of these Fandom Menace channels, which is far bigger than me, so I can sponsor their channel and promote it when I do the Indiegogo. And I very much hope it can be a Comicsgate book. I have no idea how to get in touch with Ethan Skyver, who is again fantastically entertaining channel, wonderful salesman. Oh my god! Like if you listen to his streams when he does his streams when he promotes other Comicsgaters, and like I just want to buy everything. He makes me want to buy everything. I would really like my next book to be a Comicsgate book. This thing called Crown of the Empire. And then I got another one afterwards, which is much more of a Comicsgate book, which I would like to do. And just go and check out Comicsgate books. If you like comic book, go and check out Comicsgate, because they are fantastic. Go and check out more Fandom Menace channels. Who else can I recommend? What's she called again? Mecha Random 42. That Star Wars girl, Anna, is fantastic. World class bullshitters, Red Letter Media. There's so many of them. And you know what? I used to. It's actually I don't have enough work to do in the day to listen to all the streams I want to anymore. It's so much free, fantastic entertainment. Recommend it highly. Thank you for listening. My name is Sheila Beck, and the Rabbit from Another Planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And let me know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment. Thanks so much for listening.